Hello, Weekend Warriors, and welcome to another episode of the Weekend Dojo on Saturday nights. I am Ace Red.
And I am El Chizo. How's it going, Weekend Warriors?
Would you like to start off?
Okay, so tonight we are actually doing predictions for the 25th anniversary episode of Power Rangers. And it's a big event. They're getting ready, and we're getting sort of a yes, it's a big crossover bash. But the fun part is going to be what we think is going to happen. And already I can tell you Jason David Frank is going to be in it as Tommy Oliver. Duh.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen images of him in his black Dino Thunder Ranger suit. Now, I'm curious as to what this means, because in Super Mega Force we definitely saw him as his Green Ranger form, as the Green Ranger.
Oh, yeah. But from what I saw in the trailer, he's using Dino Thunder, which makes a lot more sense.
It does. Now, what I'm hoping for, what I'm not hoping for, I'm hoping this gets explained, but it would be interesting to see if there was a way, some kind of fluctuation in the morphing grid that allowed him to access all three of his forms.
Well, I have a theory. Do you know how in Star Wars the Force works as it can bring a Jedi back, even after death? Or how in the Speed Force you can bring it has the ability to bring back characters who are dead.
Yeah.
What if the morphing grid is permanently tapped into any of the previous Rangers or anyone who has been a Power Ranger, and at any point in time it can give them back their powers?
Now that is interesting. That would make some sense. But then why haven't we seen Zordon come back?
Because it's a matter of will, I guess.
Zordon not having enough will to come back?
No, I mean, he could. He chose not to. He's in a better place now.
Oh.
And the point is, it wasn't enough danger that he needs to be back. The Rangers, my theory is, the morphing grid being this all-knowing force of will, could bring Zordon back if he wanted to. But remember, you got Gosei, who was Zordon's mentor or successor, remember?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
He was a pretty shit successor, if you don't mind me saying.
Poorly written, yeah, but oh well.
There's a perfectly logical explanation for that.
Plot. Saban's plot. That's the logical explanation.
Oh, I forgot to ask, can you see these all right?
Well, let me put my actual glasses. Or my real glasses. I'm just wearing these because they look cool. Oh, yeah, that's perfect.
Awesome.
On air. Love that. All right.
Anywho. So, we know that the morphing grid was built by someone because Alpha was able to go in and repair it.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
also, here's something I just want to go off track a tiny bit because there's something I learned about Alpha very recently that a Power Ranger fan took the whole lot of time to figure out.
Go ahead.
Alpha is Masked Rider Dex's cousin.
Masked Rider Dex. Oh no.
He is. Alpha, in the Mighty Morphin continuity, it was explained Alpha was created on Edenoi by Dex's uncle. Not the bad one, the good one.
Oh no. That means it's canon.
Yes. Well, it was canon. It's been canon. You remember they had the crossover episode.
I'm trying to forget, man. I'm trying to forget.
Yeah, it's canon.
Anyway. So what I'm hoping for in this movie is that they explain a little bit more about how the morphing grid works.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's the whole, they believe it's just a 5-year-old thing going on, but I'm hoping they explain how the morphing grid works.
Mm-hmm. I want Alpha to come back, honestly. I know Alpha is still alive, but he's with the Lost Galaxy Rangers, right?
I think so. No, last time we saw him was in Overdrive.
Oh yeah, Alpha did come back in Overdrive, right? Was he a main character?
No. He was like there. They pulled him out of storage.
Oh, he was in storage and then he went up back. Was put on that. Okay. Let me guess. They found the space ship or whatever from in space, and then.
Not really. No, they just went to a warehouse in Angel Grove, dug him up, and brought him back to the Operation Overdrive base of operations.
Oh, okay.
To fix the morphing grid.
I haven't watched Overdrive, so.
And like I said, I want them to explain the morphing grid a little bit more, because that's the one thing that Power Rangers does that I wish Sentai did.
Mm-hmm.
That one unifying force. Like, who wouldn't want to say, oh, who doesn't want to think about that? Like, all the different ways to tap into the morphing grid, both ancient and modern.
I mean, the comics are doing that already.
Yeah, but can we, and I need to catch up on the comics, but can we just...
It seems like they're actually doing that with the 25th anniversary. According to the synopsis, a new villain they're introducing, whose name sounds similar to Lord Draken, is going around the morphing grid, taking legendary Rangers and making evil copies of them for his own personal gain.
Yes. Now that is something I could get into.
And I'm pretty sure Hasbro is already having some creative will over Ninja Steel now.
Well, that's good.
Like based on what they're doing with the Legendary Battle, at least. Either that or Shuki Leve actually cares about the brand now or about the fans to make something that makes sense.
That would be very nice, especially if we can get to see the Psycho Rangers again.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the Psycho Rangers.
Yes, because here's the thing. Hasbro may sometimes put out poor toys. For example, the Transformers toys they do for the Cartoon Network shows, those are kind of poorly made, I will straight up say. But they go out of their way to make the shows and the toys a version of the toys that are more expensive that the older fans will enjoy equally as much as the younger ones. So they know their audience.
Now, we know Tommy's coming back.
Mm-hmm. And the West from Time Force.
Yeah, the rest from Time Force. Western Time Force. Are we going to see Jason, or is that a no?
Well, in the trailer, we did see a Red Tyranno. We did see Mighty Morphin Red in there, in suit.
Okay.
I don't know if it was Austin St. John or Steve Cardenas, though. It's most likely going to be Rocky, because he was the last person to have the red powers.
True. If Austin St. John were to come back, he'd probably be the Gold Ranger, wouldn't he?
Yeah. St. John.
Okay, straight up saying again, Zeo is my favorite season.
Mm-hmm. Stronger than before.
Oh, by the way, for anyone out there curious, you can learn to play pretty much any Power Rangers song using, coincidentally, power chords.
Mm-hmm.
It's a chord that allows you to play pretty much any note as a neutral note across the neck. I'll show you later.
Wait, say it again? I was trying to look up if Austin St. John was in the 25th anniversary episode.
For any music fans out there who want to learn to play Power Rangers stuff, you can start learning using, ironically, just power chords, which are
Really?
simple. They're a simple 3-note chord using your index, your ring, and your pinky in sort of a diagonal thing with one fret between them, and you can use that shape all over the neck. And what it does is it creates a neutral note that was used to actually write the rhythm part for the original Power Rangers thing. It was when punk was still getting really popular.
All right. According to this, my guess is Steve Cardenas will be. I'm pulling up Power Rangers 25th anniversary news, Rangers wrap up. It's in, yes, Mighty Morphin Red is on this list. Yeah, all right. So all the Rangers pictured on this list are RPM Silver, Mighty Morphin Red, Pink Turbo, Green Ranger, which is Tommy, Time Force, Super Mega Force Yellow, Gia. Which, let's be honest, I know Super Mega Force and Mega Force suck, but Gia was actually a good Yellow Ranger.
Okay, I won't argue with that with you there.
Yeah. See, because the thing is, the fandom, it's not her they hate. The only one that gets hate as a Ranger is Troy. And yeah, and then Blue Space Ranger, which is TJ, and then Coda from Dino Charge. This is probably going to be like the Overdrive episode, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
That was a good episode, though.
It was all right.
Mm-hmm. I think this will be I think it'll be really good, honestly.
Now, your predictions on Megazord fights. What do you think we're going to be seeing? Because I imagine they are going to abuse the Zord builder system.
Oh, you mean like a big mosh pass of I would love to see something like what Gokaiger did.
That would be interesting, but
you know, the big war at the end where they had the massive city destruction. Yeah.
I'm getting real tired of the cluster Zords.
Mm-hmm. I am. Shinkenger definitely not do it for me.
No, and it seems to keep getting worse, honestly. Like, okay, Wild Force / Gao Ranger had some really creative uses of multiple interchangeable Zords. Because the Zords had different classes. They filled in different jobs, essentially. You had your leg Zords, you had your arm Zords, and your torso Zords, and any connector Zords in between that carried the head. Like the Eagle. So what's happening here? You get one big Zord that everything else just kind of slaps onto it. I'm just burnt out on it. So what I'm hoping is that we get some really creative new Megazords.
Maybe. Have they not used it? Is there anything they haven't used from Ninja yet?
Not that I can think of it. I'm honestly sorry that they're skipping over Q Ranger because yes, it's just as clusterfucky as everything else. But it had some of the most creative costume designs that Sentai has ever seen.
Oh, they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it eventually. If you've noticed, their Power Rangers doesn't typically adapt a season that just finished.
True, but we're already getting into like Pat Ranger versus Lupin Ranger, and
I think after Beast Morphers, it'll be Q Ranger. I mean,
they carry over.
Saban had a role in making Kyuranger.
I hope they keep that ascending major soundtrack. You know.
Mm-hmm. Da 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 da. All right. Is our Red Ranger gonna save some cringy English dialogue version of Yosha Lucky?
I don't think so. I think they don't typically carry over the catchphrases the way the Japanese do them. Because the thing is, that tradition of the roll call and catchphrase goes all the way back to the 70s. At this point, it's kind of a staple of the series now. But it never was for Power Rangers. They do the roll call, and they do the roll call and the
karate chops.
The battle cry, yeah, and the hi-ya karate chop sounds. But the actual catchphrases of the characters they skip over. Usually they just stick with what is absolutely necessary to get the point across.
I think they always replace the catchphrases with what is it?
Little ad libs, really.
They replace the catchphrases with it's a specific word. Comeback lines.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Like you ooze, you lose. They replace them with tons of comebacks.
Yes, they do.
Also, can I take a moment to just mention Robo Knight sounded a whole lot like RoboCop?
I imagine that was too easy for them to pass up.
I bet. I mean, when I first watched Megaforce, I was so convinced that was Peter Weller voicing Robo Knight. Were you?
Not really. I could tell it was someone trying to do a RoboCop impression, actually.
Okay. Hey, on YouTube, somebody actually took that scene and synced the RoboCop theme over it when his first appearance. Perfect.
We got like a half hour left. Why don't we move into, since we can't seem to nail down what we think's going to happen, all we can do is make
guesses.
Why don't we talk about, like, if we could become Power Rangers, how would we tap into the morphing grid? Who would we have design our morphers if we had to be a standalone ranger like the Phantom Ranger?
Okay. Well, my gimmick would definitely be we have to think of a gimmick first, though.
Well, actually, the Phantom Ranger and that from Power Rangers Turbo. Who was the police guy?
I don't remember his name.
Turbo. But they didn't really have gimmicks. They just had motifs.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm a gimmick type person.
So for me, I would have to say, personally, I would like Ninjor to build my morpher.
Mm-hmm.
I dig his coin-based design.
I would like Billy to build mine.
Yeah, actually, I think I would have Billy do it too. Put a little bit of that Earth design philosophy in there so that, it's got controls, multiple functions.
Yeah, and as a human, I want to be able to understand what I'm working with.
Yes, because Ninjor's design is definitely very simplistic. But oftentimes, I think that's part of what limits it. He seems to have a very traditionalist view of the morphing grid. Yeah.
Now, as far as theme and gimmick goes, I think I would. I think I'd go with something more space fighter pilot or Macross based.
I think so would I, actually.
Yeah, and have and my Zord would be kind of like a Valkyrie.
So like a jet into robot thing.
Yeah. Kind of like what Akiba Ranger has with their silly car.
Hey, first of all, Ikagi Robo is not a silly car.
It kind of is. It's still enjoyable. You can't take it seriously.
That's the point.
I know.
I think for me, I would have to have some kind of something similar to a shuttle.
And okay, well, as far as Ranger suit goes, I definitely want to deviate from the traditional spandex. I think I want to do something kind of like what you're doing and have like a sort of a colorful military pilot suit with like straps attached and everything. And my helmet would be sort of like a Macross helmet. I like
would take inspiration from it. I see it. Like the visor shroud would swoop back a little bit. Fire Kaiser
still have a Ranger-esque face.
Hello, Fire Kaiser. Thank you for tuning in.
Ah, welcome. Oh, we got someone. Cool, cool.
But yeah, I can see what you mean, like a mouth plate and a tinted visor.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna say hi to the chat. Or I'll be in charge of chat monitoring. Ooh, nice! You're working your own Sentai. Sweet.
We're doing something similar to that here on the Weekend Dojo.
Oh yes.
I suppose since you're a first timer, we can break it down for you. We are rebooting. We're not rebooting, but creating a sequel to the Reviewiverse, which was laid down by Apollo Z Hack way back in the day. And it's sort of its own superhero universe.
Yeah.
And there are transforming Toku heroes in it, but at the same time, there are also, regular heroes and people who use gadgets and gizmos, all viable heroes.
Yeah.
And each of us taps into like a different source of energy for our transformations. For instance, I will be leading a group called Otaku Senki Reviewja, which means Obsessive Squadron Reviewger. And we are tapping into essentially ancient technologies left behind by the past reviewers or residual energies. We're going to call it the Review Force.
And my character is sort of more like a Kamen Rider. Could I be considered a sixth Reviewger in a way?
I would say you are more like the Phantom Ranger.
Yeah.
In a way, not really so much an extra ranger to the team, but and like vital enough to the story that you do team up with us fairly often.
But yeah, my character or my persona Ace Red is a was originally detective based, but now I'm going for more of a 80s jean jacket guy, punk guy. I don't know yet. I'm still developing the story, working with different concepts and seeing how they work. But the basic premise is he will be a side hero who reviews action figures, mostly toys, and that's as far as I've gotten. Suit, I'm still working. Villains, all that, I'm still working with. This project is in the very early stages right now. On this channel, we do live streams and reviews, and we're starting to get more content out because as we plan stuff.
Yep, and but yeah, it is kind of interesting. Like I'm actually sending him parts to build his own driver, so to speak. It's very rudimentary. He can add more decoration onto it as he likes. It's a sturdy military grade duty belt, really, with a little plasma plate to hook onto it.
Yeah.
Well. And he can modify that as he pleases. I actually still need help designing my own devices because they're not belt based. The Reviewgers each have their own device that helps them change that is unique from the others. For example, mine is gonna look like a little action figure still in its bubble packet, but it's more like a tablet with a button on the side that opens it up or something. I don't know. Still very primordial. It's just meant to resemble that. And what I will do is pop a little coin in it first, what we're calling the soul tokens. And then Otaku Blue is going to be using sort of a large gauntlet / think board game themed power glove that we're calling the Winning Hand.
Make sure not to give him all the power.
Yep.
Remember that power glove I showed you?
Yes, actually.
The nerd. That's what the nerd needs.
I'm certain he'll do something like it. Anyway, moving on, Otaku Yellow is going to be using it's going to look like a combination between a pistol and an injector gun. And then our Special Ranger, Otaku Killer, we haven't decided quite yet what his transformation device will be.
Let me guess, he is a white Abba Ranger type character then.
Actually, similar, but he's black-based. He's got a black base for his suit.
Well, yeah, but why is he evil? That's the thing.
Brainwashing.
Have you created villains yet?
Yes, actually.
Okay.
That ties into the greater lore of the Reviewverse.
Okay.
We still have to actually lay down the actual story, but we've got the framework. We should probably start a Patreon, honestly, to build equipment and such.
Yeah, definitely.
Buy equipment and build parts and props and such.
I'll leave you in charge of that.
Yep. I imagine we'll pursue our own projects independently so that we can get exactly what our vision is, and then tie them together later.
I'm going to sometime this year, once I actually have the time to figure out and plan, I'm going to start doing an art commission Patreon to fund all this stuff. I might do Voltron fan art because that sells well.
So it is kind of its own Toku-verse thing, plus some other genres. And the only thing you need to remember is that there is a zone for everything. And that will explain itself whenever we get around to this shit. Now, actually, let's talk a little bit of... Because my favorite thing about Tokusatsu are the henshin devices, really. So let's talk those for a minute here, because there are several basic types that we can talk about. There are the worn. There are two standard types to start with. The worn, the held. Actually, there are three, and the ridden. Now, worn henshin devices, those are typically belts and wristbands, and these are the kinds I really like. Because it makes sense to me, if that is understandable in any way or shape or form, that you should be wearing the device that transmutes or does some kind of wicked mumbo jumbo to get the suit on you. Held ones are also very popular. These are typically like the Ranger belt buckles from the original Mighty Morphin, or the usually they're like cell phones.
Wild Force.
Yes, like that. And these are like the worn and held are the two most common that you see. Even in Ultraman, you see it. A lot of their transformation devices are either worn or held. How many Rangers would there be on the core team? Of the Reviewers, actually 3. It would be me, it would be a red, yellow, and blue, and then adding on the Special Ranger, it would be 4.
Right. And I'm like, I'm pretty much, my character is definitely a more rider based. He's a mix of Space Sheriff, of a metal hero, a rider, a common rider, a metal hero. I might mix some elements of Garo in there as far as violence go. I'd love to try to tamper around with Toku violence as far as that goes. So I might mix some Garo in.
That's another thing. Using your primary weapon as a henshin device. I'd never actually stopped and thought about that, but that is a rarely used trope.
Message retracted.
Oh, it means they posted something by accident.
Oh, okay.
Anyway. So, that's another thing, too, is you also have to consider, does the motif of your device fit your costume?
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes, excuse me for yawning, sometimes it does not. Usually it has to fit just the overall theme of your character. For example, in Magi Ranger, aka Power Rangers Mystic Force, the Solar Ranger, the Gold Ranger, used a ticket puncher.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Vaguely. I didn't pay much attention to Mystic Force, honestly.
Yeah, it kind of.
But I do remember a ticket puncher being used somewhere.
You know, let's get back to predictions. Since
Okay.
this is the 25th anniversary episode, I assume it's probably only safe to.
Yeah. Fire Kaiser. Now we're that we went off track for a bit. I'm sorry, but yeah, we're back to talking about the 25th anniversary predictions. If you got any predictions for the Power Rangers 25th anniversary, feel free to share here too.
So I would say probably the most obvious assumption anyone could make is that the Beast Morphers, next season's Rangers, will be showing up.
Mm-hmm.
How they're going to tie that into the story, I'm not sure.
You think the Beast Morpher Rangers will show up in the 25th anniversary episode as a tease?
They would have to be dumb not to.
Well, Gokaiger did show Go Busters randomly out of nowhere in the middle of one of their movies. So, it was Gokaiger versus Gavin. That he did.
Gokaiger versus. Well, actually, it was the superhero Tyson all Super Sentai versus Kamen Rider.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Was Go Busters already playing then though?
Or it had already. It had just ended.
Oh, okay. I remember because the Go Busters and Forze teamed up, and they were best friends.
I do like, and I hope they carry this over, how each of the Rangers' civilian powers had a specific weakness to it. Like the Red Ranger's super speed was counteracted by his fear of chickens.
Yeah, I remember that. I still don't understand the first episode's opening with him frozen looking at a picture of a chicken in a newspaper, though.
Oh, he had a serious crippling phobia.
Oh, okay. Again, I need to rewatch Go Busters because I'm forgetting details already.
Yep, the Blue Ranger had super strength, which essentially allowed him to be Superman for a short period of time, as long as he stopped before he overheated.
Fire Kaiser says, I'm hoping to see Ninja Storm in the anniversary episode. Me too, man. I remember a year ago they said that rumor had it that the Ninja Storm actors were coming back.
Ninja Storm was definitely one of the better seasons too.
At least get one of them. I definitely settle for Yellow Ranger. Oh, what is his name again? Dustin. That's who I want to come back, Dustin.
Let's see. There's also, because this is a 25th anniversary episode, I imagine we're going to see people we have not seen in a long time. Disregarding dead Rangers like Rangers that return to the Morphing Grid, like the Phantom Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
The Thunder Rangers, yeah, I imagine we'll see them. They were one of the
canonly dead as far as Rangers go. Kendricks came back to life.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm hoping to see. Oh yeah, the Thunder Rangers. That'd be Dino Thunder, right? That's when you mean Thunder Rangers.
No, like the Thunders from Ninja Storm. The Thunder Rangers from Ninja Storm.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes, yep. Sorry about that.
I don't see any reason they wouldn't do it.
Well, here's the thing: the Power Rangers actors are very enthusiastic about their roles, and seem like the type of people who are more than happy to reprise them. I think with Hasbro doing it, they're going to have a lot more opportunities for returning cast members than Saban cared to do. Because my understanding was Saban tried so hard to avoid team ups ever since they got the rights back due to money or whatever. They didn't want to spend money on nostalgia, apparently, or something like that. That's what I heard.
Yeah, I could understand that. I would like to see the return of a few recurring major characters that weren't necessarily Rangers as well. Like, I would like to see Zordon come back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we all missed the crazy head in a jar.
Yeah.
And I would like to see some of the other mentors come back.
Like, Dr. O is already there, so
yeah.
Maybe the guinea pig from Ninja Storm.
Essentially, anything that was vaguely a head in a jar, I would like to see come back. Or a person in a jar, any of the in a jar people.
Why?
For some reason, they had the biggest impact, and I don't know why. Perhaps it was their inability to ambulate, to move outside of the power station that forced this huge importance on them to be, like, constantly on watch.
So I assume the Master Control Program from Tron was your favorite character within that movie?
No, actually, it was kind of a boring character. I don't know what it was. He just didn't connect as much. He didn't play as much of a huge role. He was just the looming danger.
Yeah. at least you're not that hooked on heads in jars.
No. I just keep one in my closet. Anyway, I would like to see Power Rangers Transformers crossover series when Hasbro gets the Power Rangers rights.
All right,
that's going to be. Hold on, Fire Kaiser just has one question. One comment. Fire Kaiser would like to see a Power Rangers Transformers crossover series when Hasbro gets the Power Rangers rights. Now, you see, that's it's not going to work like that, unfortunately, because Hasbro isn't making new footage. What they're doing is they're just getting the more creative control over the footage that is being sent over from Japan.
You got to remember this also. Hasbro makes toy bundles sets, the crossover, and they have the storylines written on the back of the package. They literally just released $5. Heck, I don't even think they should be that cheap because they're that good. But they're already releasing Marvel versus Capcom toys.
I'm assuming from the context of the comment though is that they wanted to see it cinematically.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. Also,
it would be cool. It would be wicked cool because, especially with Combiner Wars coming out recently, well, I have a Menasor right there, but I don't think it's going to happen just because
copyrights.
It's not so much that, it's cheaper just to adapt the footage than to create new footage. Like that episode with the Ninja Turtles was pushing the budget way more than Saban wanted to go.
Yeah, well, Hasbro has the money to do it. More than enough money to do it.
Yeah, but that implies, they have to get in contact with Bandai and say, okay, what are your plans for this, that, or the other? How do we incorporate this? They have to sit down and think, okay, how can we make this work with and stay compatible with toy designs that were originally owned by Bandai before they came over.
I wanted to go back a few minutes ago because there was a joke I wanted to make. Remember when you were talking about the heads and stuff?
Yes.
I assume your favorite character in Futurama is President Nixon.
I just like all the heads and jars in that show.
Yeah.
Like George Washington's pickled head.
Oh, yeah. Yep. We'll talk about Futurama another day.
Yeah, another day. So I imagine what we're going to see with this 25th anniversary thing is sort of them saying goodbye to old tropes in the most cinematic way possible.
Mm-hmm.
By presenting them, reminding the audience that they exist, and then through some sort of subtle directing, hint that they aren't going to be around anymore.
Right.
That at some point they are going to move on.
Mm-hmm. And try to focus on writing and character development rather than here's a cool fight scene.
Yes, and I think that's probably what they're going to go for. It happens a lot in media, especially with an ongoing series like that. Like when they had to, like when they introduced the regeneration gimmick for Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm. Or when DreamWorks rebooted Voltron.
That's another way to put it. Anyway, we got like 10 minutes left, so why don't we go into general discussion?
All right.
So what is new that the audience does not know about?
Oh, well, you know what this is. Chaz here got me into playing guitar. I know nothing yet. Right now, I just got this. I'm strumming it around, getting it used to the environment. But he's sending me tabs, and I will be learning.
Yep, and since you're probably just joining us, I am actually an avid guitar player. I've got 8 of them. I'm not great by any stretch of the imagination, but I am a huge guitar nerd. And it is so exciting to get someone into guitar, especially someone who is interested in the genre that he is pursuing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is a dying genre, and I don't want it to.
Which one? Folkabilly?
Folkabilly.
Yeah.
And there is an L in there.
Yeah, okay.
And it's a different kind of music. It's a blend of different Americana genres. Oh, you're a drummer. Awesome.
Oh, nice. Hold on. I got a pair of sticks over here somewhere. Well, I had a pair of drumsticks. Here's one of them. I'm casual. I probably don't really know what I'm doing, but I enjoy messing with them. Again, I'm new to music, very new to music.
Currently, this is my favorite acoustic right here. This is a Johnson Resonator, classical style headstock. It's very resonant.
Oh, cool.
It's short scale, which means that I can set it on my lap pretty much anywhere. I can go traveling with it. Scale stops just at the 12th fret. That's where it meets the body. And if I want to, I can set this up with a nut extender so that I can slide.
Oops, I put that down right over here carefully.
The acoustic that Kenny has right now is actually great for beginners. That is a very affordable acoustic. It's about as bog standard as you're going to get.
Oh, how about those messages? They all got retracted somehow.
Not sure.
He must have left. I don't think he can get terminated or something. Hold on. Switch accounts. My channel. Hold on. Let me go back on. Oh wow. I'm not sure yet because honestly, I have not had the time to catch up on Build, but I don't care about spoilers, so this doesn't affect me yet, but I'm sure I will feel for it once I see it. See, I've been so busy with other things and shows that we fell out of Build around December due to scheduling conflicts because we were reviewing Build as it ran. But
yes, we were, but because of scheduling conflicts in conjunction with Kiss Anime having to, in conjunction with, well, it's out in the open there. Our favorite streaming site, not Kiss Anime, but the other one that starts with K.
Izzo reviews at gmail.com. Invite. Okay, there you are.
That was weird.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Anyways, what were you saying?
I forget.
Oh, we were saying that due to our favorite streaming site to use to watch Kamen Rider kept going haywire.
Well, it was changing servers. Yeah, they had to come up with a new security system. They're running okay now.
Okay. I stopped using them. I use TV Nihon now, and I just use a BitTorrent. But I'm waiting for Build to be finished so I can download them all in batches.
Oh yeah, it's almost done anyway.
Yeah, I figured I'm gonna give it I'll be able to do it in a month, and then Zio I'm just gonna download the episode as it's released and watch it weekly.
I might skip Zio.
Why?
But well, it's very, very, very obvious that the motif of everything was done by the guy who did Ninja.
Well, we need to do Tokusatsu again still, so...
Yeah, but like I said, it's just the rider watches are very clearly Nin Shuriken.
Okay, can we at least give it a shot?
I'll give it 3 episodes.
Alright, fair enough.
However, I am excited that they're moving on from the Heisei era into a new era of Kamen Rider. I can't wait to see what comes afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like with the plot, they're creating another Riders. Okay, reference to Kamen Rider, another Agito.
I think this is going to be more of like a decade done right than anything. Well, in your view, a decade done. Your perspective of a decade done right, I think. I was happy with decade, so.
As long as it isn't bubblegumified.
Okay. Define bubblegumified.
Ninja.
Okay.
Sugar-coated bubble gum. Anywho, I think
Well,
it's about
it's
time we
10:12
wrap
now.
up anyway. Yeah.
So I'll let you close.
Well, as always, thank you all for watching. Be sure to tune in next week where we are going to be talking about the original Power Rangers movie. And as always, try to find some time for yourself on the weekend. It's your time. Use it the way you want to use it. We are so happy you decided to spend an hour just shooting the shit with us. And as always, we will see you later, Weekend Warriors.
Stay more phenomenal, everybody.